Hey guys, I'm so glad you're here. If you are new, I'm Jenny and welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. Today, I wanted to share 15 different things that I have learned along the way to help with parenting while you're living with chronic pain and illness. And so I hope that you'll find something helpful or useful from one of my suggestions. And if you do, please give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it, and or share with somebody that might need, that you could find it useful. And don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy so that you can be notified of the next upload. I upload every week. So, the first thing that I learned was to adjust my expectations. In my ideals. When my symptoms became disabling, I had a toddler and an infant, and I had already I'd read all the books and figured out all the ways different things I wanted to do and the way that I wanted to do things. And like I was making their baby food from organic, fruits and vegetables. And so, I had to realize that that wasn't realistic for me any longer, and that I couldn't expect myself to be the kind of parent that I would be if I was, didn't have chronic pain and illness. The second thing was to accept my new normal. For me, I had to accept that my house wasn't going to be as spotless as I wanted it to be, or as I worked so hard for it to be, or I wasn't going to be able to cook the kind of meals that I love to cook for my family. And I had to learn a new way. And so the crock pot and pan meals have become my best friend, especially crock pot. And I would like to try an Instant Pot. I'm going to link my Pinterest page or my board, try to link my board with the recipes that I've found, because that has been a lifesaver. The third thing was to not compare. This one is probably the hardest for me, especially with social media. I've had to take breaks, at times to keep myself from comparing to the moms that were out doing the things that I always wanted to do with my kids, or what I wished I was out doing with my kids, and then felt so guilty that I wasn't, and then they're missing out, and all. It was just a spiral. It is a spiral. I still struggle with that, and so I have had to accept that I'm going to do the best I can on my best days, and on my worst days I will do probably better by just staying off social media if I know that that's going to bother me and put me in a bad, make me discouraged. So the fourth thing is to ask for help. If you don't have a support system to lean on, you might even look in your area for local support groups. But help those in your life to understand your symptoms, to understand like what you're going through, so that they will be better able and willing to help. To make that clear, make your needs known. I've had to really work on that. And it definitely, I feel like I've seen that when people know how to help, they're more willing to. So, and it's hard. It's hard for me. I'm prideful, so it's hard for me to ask for help. But it's like, man, we really, it definitely lightens the load, and it makes things better for my kids. So definitely ask for help. Being honest with your kids. I learned this the hard way. I thought that, by keeping my pain and suffering from my kids, or powering through it with a smile on my face, I was protecting them. But ultimately, they took it as I was being dishonest with them. And, they were already anxious, and, kids will feel anxious when, they've got a sick parent. So it made it worse. It made their anxiety worse. So not suggesting to share every single symptom and, terrible thing, but in an age appropriate way, to let them know they're having a bad day, so that they know what to expect, or keeping them in, not keeping them in the dark, letting them know what's going on. I've found that that's really helped my kids. And back to on the asking for help, even asking for help from my kids as mine are older, 11 and 13, about to be 13. I find that they want to help. I feel like I've seen with my kids that they feel sort of helpless and powerless, and if they can help in some way, it makes them feel better. Like my daughter will always ask if she can bring me something, or you know, um, they want to help, like, for the most part. I mean, maybe it's the age mine are, but I even will ask for help from them. Not huge things, but little things that are within their, that are realistic to ask or age appropriate. So, the sixth thing would be to find other ways to have quality time. So meaning, like, we used to do mommy dates when they were little, or go, and still I will do them today, even if I'm having a good day, or like take them for one-on-one time, take them out to do something one-on-one. But when I can't, I've found that, being creative, well, the most truthfully, what we fall back the most on is just laying down and watching a movie, or watching Netflix or whatever. But there are lots of suggestions on Pinterest, like, as far as, like, different, meaning, like, different ways to connect, so, like, conversation starters and things like that. And I have a board that I have saved ideas for that too. So connect, the seventh thing, connect. Support groups, support groups, support groups. They have literally been a lifeline for me, to connect with other moms or parents, not just moms. This is for parents across the board, that are going through the same thing. It's amazing what that little connection, how encouraging that it can be, and and how that will affect everything, affect your mood. And gosh, I mean, I know when I'm in a better mood, my pain doesn't seem as bad, and I mean, it helps everybody involved. So for sure. Gosh, just being reminded you're not alone. And especially when you're at your worst. And also other moms, in a similar situation, other parents, I'm sorry, in a similar situation, may have great suggestions and ideas. Some of the best suggestions and help and advice I've been given have been from other moms in these support groups. So, or, follow Facebook has a lot of great support groups. I know there are different forums and there's just so many, but, following different a couple blogs, or I keep saying mom, parenting with chronic illness and pain blogs, or channels here, like on YouTube. I know there are different parents that have channels. But I would also, if you have a book suggestion or any type of suggestion like that, I would love to hear it. Pick your battles. That is my eighth tip. Don't sweat the small stuff. Easier said than done, I know. But I found that my energy is precious, and most of us are familiar with the spoon theory. We gotta reserve our spoons, and it's just like, gotta decide and not waste your energy on things that are not, worth it. Like, and for me, this just, I have to do this through, like, priorities. Like, is this a priority? Is this worth my energy? Pace yourself. I found on my better days, I immediately go into fix it mode and try to be superwoman and, catch up on all the housework and cooking and errands and, everything that's gone undone. And then I crash, and my kids are actually better at, reminding me to pace myself than I am. But I'm getting better. 10, writing everything down. I have a planner. It's right here. It's brain fog. Gotta love it. I'm not sure who made this. I'll have to look through it, but I'll link it. I love this planner. It is great, and it's got, like, pockets, and it's got an area for planning and visioning, visions and encouraging quotes and things like that. And I love it. Highly recommend it. I also use my calendar, obviously, app on my phone, and my notes app. I have a notes app. I'm sure we all have, like, just like the memo on my phone, and write everything down. And I often, like, I'll set reminders too. Like today, I forgot, I realized that I had forgot my daughter's orthodontist appointment yesterday. And I realized it was because I only wrote it down in the planner, and it just helps me to remember if I write it down in more than one place. So, um, communicate, communication. Sorry, gosh, I can't talk. Um, like if I can't make it to an event or a game or whatever it is, and my husband's not going, I will see if my mom can go and be there in my place, or so they have somebody there. If she can't, I'll just make sure to sit him down, let him know I'm cheering him on, and how excited I am to hear about all the details when they get home. But it's just, that way they know that you're in their corner and that you want to be there. They feel support. I see it in my kids anyway, that they still feel that support. It sucks to have to miss that stuff, but I feel, at least if I'll communicate and try, to make sure that they understand, then it's definitely better. The 12th is find feasible solutions when possible. So basically, I'm heat and light sensitive, and a couple of years back, when mine were a little bit younger, not old enough to go to a water park by themselves. I mean, they're still really not, but I was able to hire a babysitter to take them, so they didn't have to miss out. So and just be stuck in the house all summer. And there are community resources, like just depending on where you're at, there that might be available depending on your condition. I know Social Security did I was eligible for an evaluation, and or they sorry, I said that wrong. They would come out and evaluate and see what you're eligible for, and they, like, different services such as housework, housekeeping, house cleaning. I'm sorry, gosh, brain fog is bad today. Childcare, in some instances, running errands, different things like that. So you might check into that in your area and see if that is offered. See if you're eligible for that. Staying positive. 14. We all have our bad days emotionally, especially when you are not feeling good or you're in pain. I get so cranky and can be really negative. So I find that, it makes me worse. It makes my kids, makes everything worse. So I will, whatever, like I'll listen to uplifting music. Spotify has some great playlists, like happy playlists and things, and just like my favorite music, uplifting music, like watching a funny movie, prayer, meditation, lighting a candle, diffusing oils. There's like lots of different blends that are like uplifting blends like that. So I'll try harder on those hard days to stay positive. And I don't always remember to, but I definitely notice a huge change in how, sometimes it's just those days where you just are trying to make it through the days. Those type of days, it makes them a little more bearable. The self-care, huge for me. It's just so easy to let our, emotional and physical needs go when we're hurting and when we're sick. Especially when you're a parent. Sorry. The worst times of this whole journey with parenthood and with illness and pain and all of it have been when I am not taking care of myself. And I've just found that, like that old example with the airplane and the oxygen mask, like it's the same thing. If I'm not taking care of myself, I can't take care of the kids in the best way possible. So self-care, whatever, like for me, baths, aromatherapy, audible. I have hard time. I have some visual issues because of my Ehlers-Danlos, and so Audible has been just such a blessing podcasts, whatever it is, just something for you, something to feed your soul, something to do just for you to relax and, take care of yourself and do something you enjoy. And the last thing, but to me, my biggest like takeaway is to do your best and forget the rest. It's cheesy, kind of a cheesy saying, but it's the mommy guilt, parent guilt. I mean, it's truly the worst, isn't it? I think it's terrible. It is a downward spiral for me. It gets out of control fast and super, I mean, I'm a worst critic. So I just really have to remind myself to do my best and let the rest go. And that, I'm the best mom for my kids. You're the best parent for your children, and there's no one better than you to be their parent. So I did a blog post similar to that, so I'll link that. But I hope that you were able to find something useful or helpful or encouraging or something from this. And I just know you're not alone. You are not alone. And I would love it if you had any other like ideas or suggestions that work for you to please comment below. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up or down, whatever. And subscribe if you would like to be notified of my next upload. And I hope that you have a great day. Bye-bye.